Well, welcome back to Mill, everybody. Let's see if we can deal with this little shorty sycamore here. I'll show you where I have it set up. I'll show you why I had to set it up here and what the flexibility of having those manual clamps on your mill is, because if I didn't have them, I'd be hosed with this one. I wouldn't be able to cut it. I have to chainsaw mill it or something, or come up with some sort of weird backer board that I wouldn't be able to roll against. It'd be a real pain. This log is 64 inches long, so it's 5'4". So it would fit across where my turner is here. I just don't have a stop to go against, or a rest to go against to be able to use all this stuff. And 5'4", 5'4", and this rest would have to be over, almost up against this to be able to deal with it. It's just not a good situation. It's a lousy log. It's a lousy length. It's big and fat, so this will even be heavy to turn. Even now, you guys, if you watch my channel, you see me turn some big ass shit. You see me turn 12, 14, 16-foot logs this big around by myself. This is going to be heavy. I'm telling you right now. It's even at 5'6", it's going to be a little bare. So it's 25 across here. It's only 20 high. 20 will yield a 14-inch cant. And I need 16 on this. That's going to be a problem. Now, if I can get it so I can get 16 this way, and then this dimension is just where I cut out, that will work too. And I'm probably going to want to mark that. I want to get 16 this way so I don't mess up. And then whatever this dimension is, it's whatever. So I want 16 1/8, cut it in half. And then when we mill it out, we'll be milling this way at whatever we get. Now, we did get 30 boards out of the previous log, like I said, and that works out to, at 2 hours, at $200, that works out to $1 a board foot at 5/4 by 8 by 8. And we still do have 2 left over to edge. So he is going to get a pile of wood. I'm going to assume that this log, hopefully if everything goes right, is going to take me about an hour. So I can actually, on this log, leave you guys sitting on this side here. And I did have to, if you see the notch I took out of the log right there, I did have to trim it to fit. It's fat on the back end. And we are going to go to town on it and see how we can deal with. So we're using one hydraulic clamp. I do have the toe board if I needed to level the end. Now, I've looked this over and looked this over, and there's a funky little sweep in the log right here and then a butt swell, and this is level where it is. But I still could use the toe board here. I can't put it here because that clamps on the other side of that stop, so it would be pulling it away from that stop. And that's something I need to rectify. I need to put these clamps back on the side. I don't know if you didn't watch that video where I changed these. Norwood recommends that you offset them. Dave Boyd says you want to line them up. The problem with line them up is you can't. The stop, the rest interferes when you try to edge down small, just a few boards. You have to put something in there to clamp against, which is no big deal. But at least it clamps straight against the stop, so it will resist the racking, where this won't. This, when I clamp it, it's going to turn like this. The one in here is turning into the other clamp, so I had to put it here. If I fixed that, then I could have put this here. And the other thing is that my clamps are further apart there, so I'm going to get better support than they are here. So that's what we're dealing with. And my top cut, just to clean it up, is going to be somewhere around 19. And then we'll get to dealing with it. We'll see how fast we can do this thing, or at least I'm close to the end of the mill. There's a little bit of dirt on the log, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Let's see if we clear at 19. I might not clear my height there. Let me come down to 19. I've got my rest all the way. Yeah, it looks like I clear there. I'm going to take it right there. Let's try it. So this is an inherent problem. I need to back up just a hair. This is an inherent problem with this. My clamp's in the way. So I gotta hope that it doesn't move and try to clamp it underneath. And I can't get the clamp on it. So maybe I can go up higher. Hopefully it clears there. If it doesn't, I'm hosed. Looks like it might. I don't know. No, it's not gonna clear there. It's not gonna clear there. I can't back up very much. I don't want to pull my band off, but I can go slow. I gotta try to get it underneath somewhere. So what I need is I need to get this down. Gosh darn it. There we go. All right, I got it real low. This is only gonna, I think this is only gonna affect me on this cut if I can go 90 degrees on my turns. This is going to be one of those logs that you're going to want to get as much off each side as you can before you turn it. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to take a 5. Yeah, I can get an 8-inch board out of it. I'm going to take a 5/4 flitch off it. Right now I'm at 19, so I'm going to drop to 17 and 5/8. Take another cut. I will not walk everything down the other end. I'll keep everything on down here on the ground. And 17 and 5/8. It's 1.25 plus 1/8, and I'm still clear. So it doesn't make any sense for me to stop until I get 16 wide. I got to keep these somewhere where they're not on the forks. I need to be 16 wide. I'm getting close. I'm about 14 wide right now. I need one more flitch off this. It doesn't make any sense to turn it till I get 16 wide. Because I need to be 16, if you see my mark here. I need to be 16 this way. Cut it in half. So I'm going to take another flitch off this, and that's going to be 16 and a quarter. That's 1 inch down is 16 and 5. I'm 16 and a half. No, nope. 1 inch down is 16 and 5/8, and a quarter is 16 and 3/8, plus an eighth is 16 and a quarter. I need to be 16 and a quarter on this next cut. Then I should be 16 wide, I think. And this face will be done. And I look clear. I can tell you one of the reasons why I'm switching over from the Turbo 7s to the Stella Cut bands is that this Turbo 7 is already getting whooped. It's only cut about 200 and let's say 250 board feet, and it's already getting whooped. A Stella Cut band, I could go easily 2,000 board feet, easily. So now I am 16 wide in the narrow section here, so I am going to get my 16 dimension this way, as long as the other side cleans up okay. Well, it won't matter. I'm going to come down till I get to 16, and then I'm just going to cut it in half into two 8-inch blocks, and then however they mill out, they mill out. I will show you the wood before I turn it. I have to get my saw head back down there because I don't know what my height's going to be, and I might not be able to get it over the log. I'd rather leave it down there and just go ahead and turn this thing, but I can't because this, if that ends up too high, I end up screwing myself. Let me clean this off. We'll get a look at the wood. I can tell you that it's cutting good, but it's struggling at full width. I can see a dip in it. There is a dip in it right here. It's not a big one, but it's there. There's nothing I can do about that, really. It's coming out of a weird spot into a weird spot. The grain's bending around the curve in this log. If that doesn't stop, I'm going to have to change bands, which you change bands at 250, 250 board feet. That sucks. So let's give you guys a look at the slab. Or you just mill waves and all your shit and you don't care, which I do. Now it's cutting really nice and smooth, which is leading me to believe that it might not be whooped, that it might just be a grain issue here. It's a very pretty log. It's got the great color. Let's go ahead and see how much of a pain this is going to be to flip over. See if I can throw the man on it. And I want to get this thing, I don't want to deal with the width again. I want to get it flipped up and squared, which just sucks. And then having these things interfere with the turning, and it's just going to be much easier if I can only go 90 degrees with it and just leave that wave in the side of something. I don't know where the best spot's going to be to get it. Maybe here. Yeah, let's see what happens. Now, if I could get this thing 90 degrees squared up, that would be great. Okay, I want to get my clamp on. It'd be great if I had my log dog assist here right now. Just want to get my clamp set on it so it holds it in place. See how far I'm off I am. I don't want to go too far. Ooh, it's pretty close. Needs to go a hair more. If I can get it squared up and make this cut, that solves a lot of problems for me. All right, it's right up against the stops right there. Now this would be a good spot to have one of Dave Boyd's little blocks to go in there. And I can probably grab myself a little wedge to stick under there. I just want to see where I am. I think I got to go a little more because I think it rolled back on me. No, it's pretty square right now. So the only problem with this is it going to be I want to see if I could get a wedge in there. I'm going to beat that in a hair, see if I can reclamp it tighter. So this is kind of a little bit dangerous here. I think it's okay to leave it where it is. Let's take the top off it. It's gonna be somewhere in this area here, somewhere around 23. Because we're trying to get 16 in this dimension, this flat doesn't super matter. We know that we could have maybe got 14, which would be way down here. So we're not going to get 14. So I'm just going to clean this face up first and then get it flipped again and see if we can get it into a square. So where would I say that was? Around 23. So let's see, we want to get this cut made without having this. If we can get this cut made, we're gold. Without it moving. $23, close it down. All right, we want to go nice and easy here and try and just chew our way through. All right, I'm going to drop an inch because I don't have a board there. So I'm going to drop to 22. I don't want to waste the board. So once I get 8 inches wide, then everything's at 5/4. So I'm going to drop to 22 and take a waist cut. I'm still getting that weird dip in the beginning here. This is a waist cut. I will actually probably keep it. I am 8 inches wide. I do have a little wane here I want to get rid of, so now I'm going to take a 5/4 board. So I have to come down to 20 and 5/8. Give myself a little more support here. And a little more coolant. See if that helps with this dip. I'm actually starting to wonder if I have a problem with my guides, with my mill, because I'm getting that dip right here in the beginning, and I was getting that dip on those other boards too, but then it flattened right out. And I don't know whether it's the band or the angle of the band or the tracking of the band. Let's shut this off real quick. Let's pull a cover off this and let's see where our tracking is right now. What this is telling me is that I'm tracking either my guides are off, my band hits something and it's dull on the top. What it's going to do is it's always going to cut away from the dull. So if it's not removing material as good on the top as it is on the bottom, that's when you get that dive. Um, or it's angled down a little bit, which means that it would be tracking too far back. Now, right now, it's not like it's up against the flanges on the rollers, so it doesn't look like it's tracking too far back, but let's check out. This is a new thing. No, it's not tracking too far back. It's fine. So this is kind of telling me that the band hit something somewhere that wore out one side of the band or put a dull spot on one side of the band. Because if you look over there, do you see right on the end of those last couple of boards, I got that weird little cup dip right there? That's the same thing I'm getting right now. I didn't get it on all of them, but you can see it right there, and you can definitely see it right there. And it was in that case, it was in a different spot on the mill. Now I'm getting it right there, right coming into log. As soon as it starts cutting, it's acting like the band has got a problem. We can throw a level on it real quick. Let's see what the level looks like on the band. See if it's obviously angled down. It would have to be pretty pronounced on one of these two sides. Let's find a down tooth right here. Put it this way. Make sure there's nothing on here. My band's perfectly level over here. And let's do it on this side. Perfectly level over there. So my band's perfectly level. That means that my band got dull on the top and it's cutting to where it's cutting more efficiently. 250 board feet, guys. They hit a piece of dirt or something or a rock or something, but it's doing exactly the same thing as it was doing on that one. Right in the beginning of the cut. Right in the beginning of the cut. Same thing right there. And then it flattens right out. And I don't know if you can see those boards, but those boards came out ridiculously flat. other than that one little 6-inch dip. So it's definitely something with how it's loading up when it feeds into the log. And I don't want to cut this whole log and have that happen the whole time. Let's see if it happened on the other side over there. Oh, I think I already showed that it did, right? No, no, I take it back. So it's something. Let's look down this edge. No, it didn't dip on this side. It didn't dip at all. It's new, it's here. So it's kind of weird. It could be grain. I'm going to keep cutting with it. We're going to flip it over. You know, if you're running a hydro mill and just blasting through this, you're getting that every cut right now, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to pause you guys 1 sec, and I'll be right back. So after just verifying that everything's okay, the only thing we can't verify is if there's a dull spot on the band. But we will be able to cut some more and see. There is a little bit of dirt in this log. There is a chance that it got dulled on one side. I think it might be more a possibility of some weird density thing going on here, or it's feet per second on the band, whatever. But we're going to flip it over and keep cutting and see if we see it again. Guys, I can't tell you enough right now that this is a dangerous flip. You got to be set up to hold on to this on this flip. And you don't want it to slip out. You got to get a good bite before I take that clamp off, or this thing could roll backwards on me right now and roll right on top of me. Okay, I think I got it good. I should be able to take this clamp out. Got to get it all the way over, or when it rolls over, it's going to stuff into it and catch that clamp. Now let's see if we can go over with it. It's really not as heavy as I thought it was going to be. It slides nice on the bunks. All right. We're going to have to get our stops down a little bit. Maybe not. They do not need to be taken down to clean the top up, I can tell you that. So I cannot go below 11 there. This one's higher than this one. So let's see if we can clean it up without having to do anything to it. I don't want to give him bad. I mean, he gave me a bad log, but I don't want to give him bad wood. So let's see where our top cut's going to be. About 16. Is this our 16? No, this is our 16 dimension this way. So all we have to do on this dimension, we're going to want to get it somewhere around 12, and we're going to want to see where 12 is on 5/4 scale. It just makes sense to get it on scale. So 12, let's go ahead and drop down there right now. So 12 and 1/8 is on 5/4 scale. So that's as low as we're going to want to go. Make sure I don't have any weird wane. We're going to want to end up on scale anyway, so I can go ahead and pull this up. Let's go up to the next one. 13.5. That looks pretty close. I think I'm going to take it right there. And all I'm doing is I'm setting myself up without taking into consideration the wane on the other side of this. to cut on 5/4 scale through the 16-inch dimension. So you're going to have 2/8 and then drop through it this way. And I can tell you right now, I've got some serious weighing down the bottom down here, but I was 16 wide before I flipped it. So I think we're okay. And this cut looks reasonable. So let's just take it here. So basically I'm cutting it on, I'm setting up 5/4 scale right now. And I didn't waste the board there. That was a reasonable cut. Seems like a big cut, but it really wasn't. It's thin. There's nothing on the end. There's a thin spot right there. I am going to want to drop down and take 1 5/4 flitch off this. And that's as low as I can go before I get into trouble. Take 1 5/4 flitch off, so I'm at 13.5. I want to drop to 12 and an 1/8. Yep, 12 and an 1/8. And I think I'm clear at 11. And I don't see the dip here. So we're going to drop to 12 and an 1/8. That should be on, that is on scale. I did not get the dip. Oh, I did on that cut, right in the same spot, I think. A little teeny bit there. It's with there's a weird knot there that it doesn't like. There's a knot right here. It's not a big dip, but it's there. I can see it. It just means that this band's starting to get whooped. Now what we're going to want to do, since we know we need 16 this way, is we're going to want to flip this up. We got to get it cut to 16 and an 1/8 and then cut it in half into 2 8-inch chunks. Then we flip them on their side and we can cut them out. So, and that there is still that little dip there. It's definitely the band sharpness. It's only affecting it when it's loading up. So just go right up with it. Ugh. Okay. I'm not going to run into anything until I have to make my 8-inch cut. So, and also, this is going to be one of those situations where when we go to make that 8-inch cut, we're not going to have room to do it. So we are going to have to put a backup board in here to kick this over. Well, we can't go 8 inches deep. So I'm going to put this down to 4 so I can't hit it. I'm going to drop my hydraulic stop. Now we have to get this taken down to 16 1/8. Is that against the stop? Yep. Get it to 16 1/8, and then we'll cut it in half. And like I said, we are going to need to come over after I take the top off it. We're going to need to put 1 inch in the backside. Probably one of the edgings over there that I have on the ground. Something that ended up fairly square to put in behind the stops to kick it this way 1 inch. So let's see what happens. We don't have to worry about scale. What we should do is we'll go to 16 1/8. We know that we need to end up there. Make a mark. Looks like I can scale a board. I'm going to go up to 17 3/8, and 1/8 is 17 1/2, and we'll take it right there. There was a lot of dirt caked in this log. It did not dip at the beginning there. There's a bunch of dirt on my hand here. Could have hit something at some point. Now we'll drop down and take one at 16 1/8. Then we're going to have to kick it over. Did not dip at all. It's cut perfectly flat. Cut perfectly flat that time. It looks like it might have made a little wave up here at the end. It's hard to tell. There's a little wave right here in this knot. I think this is all just a matter of grain in this log. So now I'm going to go back without moving it over and see if I have clearance. I don't think I do. To drop to 8. I'm 99% sure I don't. Let's just check it just to confirm. We want to go to 8. It's cutting this straight in half and taking the kerf into consideration. Oh, I do have clearance right now, right where I am. Huh. Okay. I can cut this in half right now, so let's try it. I'm rubbing on the other side. I was rubbing on the other side. So now we got two 8-inch cans. Perfect. Perfect. So we have two 8-inch cans. We need to get them flipped on the side. We're already on 5/4 scale, and we can just mill them out. We have to pull them way this way, put our stops up, unless they're so small that we can do it without doing that. I might be able to just do that. Might. Now this is too wide to grab like this, which is what you need to do. You need to grab it like this if you're not 8 inches. Like if you're 6 inches or 6 inches, you can grab it like this and pinch it in the PV. But that's not the case here. So let's see if we can roll it this way without flipping this thing off the mill onto my legs. It's going to be close. came right down on top of the stop. Did not like that. Did that other one flip too? Oh, it did. They both flipped. Perfect. So I can start cutting it out. And I'm going to want to edge. Is that dip right there. Going to want to edge it before I get all the way down. Let's just see. I'll see how long your video's getting here, because we're just getting to the point where we're going to start ripping off boards. 41 minutes. I'll let you watch me go through one iteration here, and we'll see if we get any dip in it. I can't remember how. Well, we know that it's. Can't remember how high it is, but I just know it's on scale. All right. And then just before I finish the log, I'm going to have to put my stops all the way down. So let's see where we got to get to for scale. We know it's up there. That was the 12 and an 8. I think that's where we were. Yep, that's right where we were. So that's on scale. So we're wasting no boards. 10 3/4. I can tell it's getting dull because it's starting to come up against the flanges on the back of the rollers. That cut didn't dip. So at 10 and 8, we're going to come up 1.5 cranks and then drop down to like 9 3/8. Or 9 and something. It's not 9 3/8. We were not at 10 and 8 either. We were at like 10 and 5/8, something like that. 9 3/8. Yeah, that's right. One thing that I do see, oh, something's going on. Oh no, it's the sunlight. I was like, holy crap, I chewed into my roller. It's the sunlight hitting it. You just check that cut, see if it did anything crazy. No, it cut perfectly flat. So that's 9 3/8. I'm going to come up 2.5 cranks. Next cut's down at 8 and an 8. Yep. You want to back off your speed so that your band's not riding against those flanges when it starts to get like this. Or you're going to build a ton of heat. Yeah, it is definitely. This is going to end. This will be the last log for this band. That's for damn sure. It does not like it at all. So my next drop's down to like 6 and 5/8. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, come down to 6 5/8. Let's see if we can manage the speed on this one. It's not liking it. I got to turn the water up, try and get as much coolant on here as I can. Oop. 6 3/4. That's where it is. All right, let's see if we manage this cut. Make sure all my stuff's out of the way. Just let it eat. Go nice and slow, let it clear the sawdust. Don't put too much pressure on it. It's super hard wood. You got to remember the grain's bent. This log was bent like a banana. All right, I'm going to get this out of the way before I very slowly finish this log. One good thing about having a big long mill like this now is that I can pull these boards off and lay them right here. So I can pull them off so you can see them. I am getting that dip. I see the dip down there, I think. So this band definitely is at the end of its life. There's really nothing in this for waves. It's really actually pretty nice. Some little bit of a bark inclusion on it. Let me get the thing scraped. I'll show you the boards. You can tell there's a lot of sawdust building up in the cot. This fan definitely is done. Less than 300 board feet. Done. Overall, you cut those pretty consistent. You can see that there. But thickness for just dropping by eye ended up pretty consistent. Beautiful wood. I am going to shut this thing off, call this a video, mill out the rest of his log, and call it a day. So the only thing I have left to do for him is I've got a piece of cedar up there that I have to cut into a post. And I don't think tomorrow's going to be a very nice day. I think tomorrow's going to be shitty. So I want to get this done and get this out the door. I'll get all these on top of these or stacked in front of them, one of the two. And so I can load them with the Bobcat and he can come get them. I may swap bands. I think I'm going to take all these off and I'm going to swap bands. I think it would be a good idea to do that. I do have a Silvertip Turbo 7 that's not dull in my box that I can just throw on quick to finish this out. That way it will make me feel better about it. Let me show you, see if I can show you down one of these boards. See if I can get this one off. We'll just pick one. So it's got the wave in the side, but as far as the flatness this way, it's perfectly flat. There's nothing in it. There's nothing in it at all. The only wave that's in it is that wave in the beginning that we were getting before this way, right here. Other than that, it's nice and flat. So I don't know, maybe I'll try to milk through these last few cuts. And I can't load these on my Bobcat forks till I get rid of the slab wood. So I think that's going to do it for this one. Pain in the ass short log. I'll probably charge him an hour for this one. I'm not going to charge him 2 hours for this one. So 2 hours for the big one, an hour for this one. It's not going to, this one will not work out. Well, maybe. He might get enough board feet in this one to make it work out. He's going to get quite a few boards after I edge that off. So, and, you know, just to turn that piece of cedar into like a 4x4, maybe I just won't charge him. Actually, I wish I had that cedar down here right now because I'd make these last couple cuts and burn right through it. Maybe I will, but I appreciate the watch, guys. I think what we're getting out of this today anyway, if you watch all 3 videos, is that, number one, we can turn big-ass fat logs even when they're off-center and a pain in the ass. Number two, you'll know why I'm trying to phase out those Silvertips Turbo 7s, because I cannot cut waves in my wood. I just don't like it. Number three, it really helps to have the manual clamp staggered around your mill so that you can do stupid shit like this. I should charge him $200 just because it's stupid shit, but I'm not going to. He's a good guy. I like him, and he gives me a lot of wood to cut. So I'm going to try to play it straight up. I mean, the other log took me 2 hours. No matter how I look at it, between having to get it down here and get the mill ready and blah, 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 and dropping it off the mill because it sucked in length and all that stuff. And this one, without videoing, I could have done it in an hour. So I think $300 for the 2 logs is good. It's beautiful wood. Hopefully he's going to stack and sticker it and do the right thing by it. So in a year or so, it's going to be really special stuff. I don't know how he's stacking everything that he's taking from me down in his house, but I'd hate to see him leave it somewhere where it's not going to end up being beautiful, because this is really pretty wood. Really pretty. I mean, some of this grain is just awesome. The color's great. They're just gorgeous little pieces. Be great for making cabinets or something like that. It would be awesome color for cabinets, some sycamore cabinets. So that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for the watch. Hit me up with any questions or anything like that. Suggestions, whatever. You can see that, like, you know, when I said it's a lumber making machine, you can put a shit pile of lumber through this thing really quick, and I'm videoing while doing it. But I mean, that's a really good stack of lumber right there for, you know, a couple of hours in hardwood while videoing. Really nice. Unfortunately, the Silvertip Turbo 7s just don't make the cut, guys. They just don't. Don't know what else to say. That's why I'm going all Stella cuts, because if I had Stella cut on, that would not have happened. Now, the way I could combat that would be to cut one cant at a time instead of cutting 16 wide and really loading that band up. But you shouldn't have to. You just shouldn't have to. That's why you should run the Stella cut bands. So, all right, I'm out. Probably going to let Danny out for a few. I got sick of yelling at him. Finish up, get cleaned up, go in the house, throw some wood in the wood stove, and be done for today. I appreciate the watch. Like, share, subscribe, yell at me, and for now, it's Buyers Solutions out.